Buff Nation!
Let's go. Wow.
That was enthusiastic.
Yeah, that was.
Thank you.
Damn.
It kind of scared me.
Welcome into DNVR Buffs Prime Time. We're presented by Illegal Pete's. Check out any of their 10 Colorado locations. Happy hour, 36 p.m. every single day. Jake Schwanitz, RK, Uncle Neely, the Power Trio.
Yes.
Some are saying.
Let's go. We're very lounged up in here.
We are.
What is it? What do they call this? The Players Lounge?
This is part of the Players Lounge.
Okay.
This is going to be the theater room once it gets primed out. We got the logos on the chairs.
Yep.
We're leaning back and relaxed. I don't think I could sit up if I wanted to. So
Yeah, exactly. I've been to some places called the Players Lounge that looked very different than this.
Yeah. I bet you have. I bet you have. Go up front and get your ones. Huh?
We just watched, I don't even know how to describe what we just experienced and just watched, but it was every angle just amazing, and Coach Prime's words after were particularly pretty awesome about it too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a historic day, legitimately. From the start of the day, just getting here, coming up at, at the 8 o'clock hour, pulling into the lots and people already tailgating for a spring game. In the snow, might I add, when it's cold as hell. The turnout that we had at the tailgate was incredible. We had all sorts of different YouTube channels coming through. We had John the Liquidator come through, Alpine Garage Sports, TLP Sports, all these people just kind of coming together to experience an incredible day. And I can honestly say never before have I had so many people come up all across campus just saying hey, listen to the show, love what you're doing with Neely. It was incredible. And that's before we even got into the game.
Yeah,
I concur, man. It was and this is naturally my first Colorado spring game.
Yep.
I have seen a couple of Coach Prime's spring games, the first one in Colorado, and when you look at the challenges of the weather, and it was still actively snowing as we were preparing for the game, and it didn't change anything. Over 47,000 in attendance, high energy. It was amazing, man. I loved every minute of it. I guess the only thing that didn't happen, you thought was going to happen, the Ralphie run didn't happen. For weather issues and that kind of thing. But it was what a turnout in a day.
I was a little worried. I'll be honest, and I apologize to everyone who showed out because I was worried. When I woke up, actually, when I was leaving the DNVR bar last night after the Nuggets game and it was dumping snow, I was like, man, I hope that people still come out.
Yeah.
And I knew that it would still be a great crowd comparatively, but I was worried about it being as full as it ended up being. And I even said when we walked into the stadium, hey, if you're not here when it's cold, don't come when it's warm. And everyone was here. Everyone was here.
You fired a shot, man.
I did.
You fired a shot.
I did. But everyone played their part. Damn near sold out the entire stadium.
Yeah.
What was the final attendance, Jake?
47,477, I believe.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Great job by everyone. And it was a perfect appetizer is what I would call it. We got a little taste of what things are going to be like here from here on out. And just enough to keep everyone wanting that main course even more.
Yeah. I got the opportunity to step inside a couple times here in the locker room, the Players Lounge, and see the ESPN broadcast. And, man, when you talk about this place was well showcased, to that audience, from the scenery of the crowd to the interaction with Coach Prime during the game, the interviews with RG3 and Chris Fowler they were doing, well represented, man. It looked great. It looked great. And then, for that snow that was falling during the game, it just added to it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like these crazy folks are out there and it's snowing.
Yeah.
There's 47,000 people and the snow is falling. And, it looked cool on TV.
That's awesome.
It looked really cool on TV. I mean, I can't wait to kind of go back and watch it because I'm sure we missed some stuff from the broadcast. We did go live a little bit before the spring game. Neely, you were down on the field with everyone. What was it like pregame on the field with the team?
Amazing. To hats off to the grounds crew here, because when we got here about 8 this morning, looked out of Coach Prime's office, you're like, there's no way we're playing this game. There's no way this game is going to take place with the amount of snow. And they were shoveling the sidelines, not using equipment, just a couple of guys. You're like, if they're going to do the whole field with just 3 dudes, there's no way we're playing this game. brought out the heavy equipment, man, and then rolled up with some brushes, and you couldn't tell that it had 2 or 3 inches of snow on it just 2 hours before kickoff.
Right.
And so to go from that to see the crowd filing in and the energy from those fans when position groups would come out, when the receivers came out, the line, the defense, and then when Coach Prime walked out, oh my God, just to see the energy from the folks excited to see finally get to see these players was, you never forget it.
For sure. For me, it was literally like the moment when they were doing like the pregame hype, Coach Prime standing on Ralphie in the middle, and then the team is like huddled around him.
Yeah.
And you could just see like the crowd was feeding off it. The team was obviously feeding off of it. That was like when it hit me. Like, Coach Prime is actually here. Like, this is legit. This is really happening.
Yeah, I get it. I remember that feeling. Since I've been with him from the Jackson State seasons to now, I know how you feel. Mm-hmm. Because it was that first time he had been at Jackson State, some months before we played the game. And then you see him in a stadium coaching, like, this happened. Yeah. And to see him here and that energy in Colorado, man, and I know he was blown away by it too. There was several times on the ESPN broadcast where he literally said, hey, Rick George, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity, because I'm looking at this crowd while it's actively snowing, and there's 47,000 people here.
Yep. And I'll speak on behalf of Rick George saying, no, thank you, Coach Prime. Yeah, I mean, it was so cool. Who all was down on the field that stood out to you?
The former players, to see their energy, because I know this program is, kind of gone into a sunken place, a dark place for a while, and those guys had not been coming back and being engaged and active. And to see them on the sideline and hugging each other and talking about where it's going from here. Mm-hmm. Cordell Stewart, Michael Westbrook, Terrell Davis was out there, like so many guys who were just, icons in Colorado sports, hanging out on the sideline because Deion Sanders is now the head coach. I think that was a big takeaway from the energy down there.
Yeah, Coach Prime talked about, we'll get to the post game, but he talked about the alums and all the former players here a lot of admiration.
I have to say, I love having all of the legendary Buffs in the building. Terrell Davis being down there really stood out to me and was impactful to me because that doesn't happen. That's never happened. Like, John Elway is the king of Denver sports all time. He'll make an appearance everywhere, so he's been here before. Other than that, like, I can't remember a Terrell Davis being on the sidelines. I can't remember a Shannon Sharp being on the sidelines, which we know is coming eventually. These guys who are icons in Denver haven't always embraced what's going on here in Boulder. Mm-hmm. So to see Terrell Davis, who in my opinion is the greatest playoff running back of all time, down there on the field, just taking it all in and supporting what's going on here was special and just a different type of impact of like, oh my God, this is taking everyone by storm.
And not week 2, first home game against Nebraska, for a scrimmage.
Yeah.
Like, he was here for a scrimmage in the snow. I know Terrell Davis has some other places he could be other than a practice in the snow. And so to have him show up in these conditions for a practice just shows you the fever pitch that's around this program now and how many people believe in Coach Prime and what's going to take place here. That's why I'm wearing these glasses inside. The future's too bright, man. Like, it's happening. We are witnessing history.
And they look good.
Are we ready to get into the game?
Let's get into the game, man.
All right.
I mean, we're in these recliners, and I'm almost like Al Bundy mode when I do the hand right there. We're so relaxed. It's like Monday Night Football. It's just, let's break down the game.
Well, then kick back a little bit longer while I pay the bills real quick. Shout out to Breckenridge Brewery. You guys know we love our Breck beers here at DNVR. Hopefully you guys got to crush a few of them. I know I got to crush a few in the pregame, Ryan.
I did not get to crush any out on the field, no.
Yep, I had a couple. I actually passed the hydration test in the bathroom over here. So
you saw the chart?
Good. Yeah.
I love the chart.
Yeah, I got blinking
Every
green.
time I pee in the locker room, I'm sitting there looking at the chart and looking down at the color. Because it tells you, like, this color this color this. Hey, if you smell something but you didn't eat asparagus, I love that chart, man.
Yeah, man.
I want to put it up in my home bathroom.
Me too. I got a kick out of that. I really enjoyed that.
I'm glad you did. Man.
Yeah, man.
Well, I was going to ask you about that.
Use Breck Brew to make sure that you're hydrated, I suppose. You could try out Mountain Beach Sour, Vanilla Porter Jr., Mile High City Golden Ale, all your favorites. Go to www.com or www.breckbrew.com to find a Breck Brew near you. And then shout out to Fubo TV. This game was just streamed. It was live broadcasted on ESPN to, I don't know how many
millions.
people.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of
Tens
people
of
watched
millions.
it on Fubo.
Hundreds of millions. Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Billions.
Yeah.
Fubo has 140 plus live channels of sports shows, movies, and news. It's the place to watch the Avs and Nuggets on altitude throughout their playoff push. Right now, you can start watching immediately with a 7 free day trial. Go to www.fubotv.com/DNVR to sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. That's www.fubotv.com/DNVR.
Great service. I
Yes.
love me some Fubo.
We were actually watching Fubo upstairs in the press box.
There you go.
Yeah.
Not just on your TV. You got it on your
Exactly,
devices,
yeah.
too.
We had to get all the angles, all the replays at least.
Oh, that's actually smart.
You know how you have those books you can listen to?
Yes.
He should really get into that. Like, I can drive cross country just listening to him read me something.
Damn.
That's like a fantastic compliment.
That
from
really
a
is.
podcaster. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I'd
Thank you.
probably doze off. Not because like you're
No,
boring.
that's a
it's
great-
just his voice is so
compliment.
soothing.
Thank
You know,
you.
it's just, I'm sitting here like, Jake is talking.
I told you could sit back, man. All right, let's start with the game.
That's probably my best chance of reading a book.
We
Like
started.
if it doesn't
out-
have pop-ups like that, I'm not reading the book.
We started
Coloring
out
book.
2 kickoff reps, and then we got the first team offense. First play was Shador to Travis Hunter for 10 yards. Dylan Edwards had about a 15-yard run up the middle. The pace, man.
Mata just walked by, man. You guys, I know we're live. You got to shout out Mata, man.
What's up, Mata?
Shout out, Mata. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We're just doing a live show. Don't let us interrupt you.
You want my seat? You probably do better than I would.
And what stood out to me, we've talked about it all spring, the pace of this offense.
Oh, my God.
Holy cow, they are moving.
Yep. What stood out to me is I was like, whoa, chill, when they all piled up on Travis on the first play.
Yeah.
I was like, everyone needs to calm down.
Yeah.
Stay away from him.
Now, I'm like that. It's just at practice. I'm like, can we give Travis a quarterback jersey? Like
Yes.
No one touches him.
Yes, they had the gray today. Let's just give him the gold.
Then the first touchdown, Shador to Travis Hunter from 14 yards out. Get used to hearing that extra point. Glad Mata kind of walked away because it was blocked, and then Jeremiah Brown took it all the way back for 2 points.
No, we can get Mata back in here. Now, I don't know a lot about kicking, but a lot of times the block ain't the kicker's fault, so.
The second, I missed the first one. The second one was absolutely not his fault, and I assume the first one was a similar problem.
It was pressure up the middle.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
That's the one thing you cannot allow.
Right.
I do want to say this. I'm going to talk to him while I look at you.
Okay.
Who did that scoop and score?
Jeremiah Brown.
Jeremiah Brown.
Who did I say was going to have a breakout?
Jeremiah
Okay,
Brown.
I'm just saying.
Yes,
Well
sir.
done. That was Dre's pick, too.
Oh.
Jeremiah Brown.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who was my pick? Oh, my pick didn't play.
Yep.
Charlie.
Great job.
Thank you. I thought my insider over here would have let me know he wasn't playing when I
Hey,
said.
man, sometimes these are game time decisions.
Yeah.
We did the show. I didn't know.
Yep.
Mustache was still killer, but I didn't know he wasn't shooting up.
First team defense got out there. Travis, of course, started with the first team defense. Shane Cokes got a tackle for a loss on an off tackle run. Cokes and Payne, I noticed, were getting some pressure up the middle. Cokes had 2, I think, knockdown passes at the line of scrimmage.
He
today,
did.
too.
He
So,
did.
He was
did.
impactful.
So if you ask me, a unit that really impressed me, I'm going with the defensive line because of the circumstances they were up against.
Yep.
You come to a nationally televised scrimmage, international televised scrimmage, and you got 4 guys. And you had that. Remember, I was sitting here saying yesterday that the running backs are going to have a big game because of that. And those guys, they didn't quit, man. Like they balled out.
I was really impressed.
Yeah.
And I think, you said it perfectly. Like, they kind of had a built-in excuse to not ball. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, if they ran for 1,000 yards out there, we would have come in there and said, yeah, well, it wasn't really fair for the defensive line. They didn't think of it in that way at all.
Yeah, I talked to O.B. O'Boyle, O-line coach, before the scrimmage and said, hey, how are you going to really measure your offensive line when they're playing against, this depletion of the defense line? He said, look, those 4 guys are 4 guys that we're going to face this fall. Like, so don't think that because we are low in numbers that they're not going to be playing some competition.
Yep.
And it came true. They did it.
First team offense went back out on the field a bit after that. Shador tried to go deep for Travis, but that's when Travis tangled legs with Tyron Taylor. No flag.
Where's the flag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Coach Prime was asking for the flag.
No, that was a flag.
Yeah.
That was a flag.
He gets that in a game
Yep.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. After that, we got the first big play from Montana Lemonious Craig. Gain of 39 yards down the west sideline. Kind of mossed a kid, actually.
Yeah, and it was a free play.
Yep.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was surprised the refs let it run because the ball was on the ground. Shador picked it up, saw Montana, gave him a chance, and Montana went and got it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And so, hats off to QB1 for knowing, hey, they hadn't stopped the play. Let me take this opportunity, and for that catch. That was huge. And shout out to RG3. I was watching that part on the broadcast. The way you butchered his name was just it was beautiful.
RG3 butchering Montana.
Oh, no.
he went about 0 for 6.
0 for 7 because he wore red on the field, which we don't do around here.
Before that big play, though, actually, it was when Caleb Mathis had back-to-back receptions.
And that was your guy. Wasn't that your guy?
That was the Chats guy.
The Chats guy, okay.
Yeah, my guy was Anthony Hankerson, who had a solid day.
Yep.
Caleb Mathis had one gain of 16, kind of over the middle. Nice ball by Shador. Next play was a gain of 6. That was on like one of those, bubble screens.
So that was like the across the formation.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love that play.
After the big Montana Lemonious Craig catch, Caleb Mathis got his third for a gain of 12. So 12, 16, 6. Guy got 25-plus yards on one drive.
Yep.
After that,
It's actually 30-plus.
30-plus.
Decent effort on the math, though.
Thank you. Well, I'm here for a reason.
So, like, my math is so bad, there's nobody can challenge me. I'm not throwing a red flag on math. Like, I'm like, hey, he says 26, 26.
It's 28 just on the first two.
Hey, man, don't question my math abilities right now.
You stick to reading ass.
Yes.
Math ain't your thing. Like,
I can read.
yeah, you know your wheelhouse, buddy. You read.
That drive finished with an Anthony Hankerson 1-yard touchdown. Solid day from him. Ryan Staub kind of impressed after that. He had a really nice day. I saw at one point on the broadcast he was like 7-9 for like 90 yards.
He's had a nice spring, man. I think Staub. If you added the ACH, it'd be Staubach. I think he's a credible guy, man. In the QB room, when they do these brain teasers, he's always like sharp and on it. When there are challenging QB1, Shador Sanders in the QB room, and they'll ask him, like, all right, what do you think? He's right there, spot on. So I'm not surprised, that he had a good day. He's a good kid, and he knows how to move the ball.
For sure. This was kind of towards the end of the first quarter, I guess. And then Dylan Edwards, man.
Every day.
Smoke through a keyhole, man. I mean, I don't know how he got through all just the interior of the play. But he just pops out, and it's like 15 yards downfield already. Yep. He's amazing.
He is amazing. Number 10, Dylan Edwards.
That inside out stuff is just going to be incredible for him.
Yep. And hats off to him. I talked to him pre and post. That guy really should be in a high school classroom right now.
Yeah.
Like he's one of the early guys.
Yeah.
Like
He's at prom tonight.
Yeah. He's here playing the spring game.
Yeah.
And doing the damn thing while he's here. So hats off to him.
I just love, Bucky every time in his videos when he breaks one, he just goes every day. So I'm just calling him Everyday Dylan now.
Yeah, it does happen, man. If you don't get him, you're not getting him.
Nope.
That was the end of the first quarter. We had some field goal kicks after that. Feely missed from 35. Mata hit from 40. Then Feely hit from 43 outs. Then we kind of had a 7-on-7 period, but that's when we spotted Cormani McLean on the sidelines in a Louis Vuitton.
He is here. He is here. And is, as we speak, meeting with Coach Prime. And I asked him in the elevator when I was taking him up to Coach's office, like, how bad did you want to get out there? He said, man, don't ask. Like, I wanted it bad.
Yeah.
And Prime even shouted him out on the ESPN broadcast. He was talking about Travis going both ways. He's like, hey, you hear that? I got one more that's going to be going.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Let's go.
He looks the part. Like,
he
that
does.
long corner that can, just make all those plays reaching around. That is, that's the stuff.
Mm-hmm. Next big play after that, probably the play of the game. Shador to Montana Lemonious Craig. Looked like a broken coverage. 98 yards, though, to the house, man.
Yeah, it was a cover 2 that turned out to be a cover 1 somehow.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's great.
Yeah, as the corner's looking back like, wait, someone's supposed to be over the top.
Yeah. MAs, missed assignments.
Yep.
Yeah, someone blew it. But you got to be able to take advantage of when they blow it.
Of course.
And so again, whether it was the lack of a whistle, to take advantage of free play on the flag, or that, you got to do what you do, man. And they matched up well.
Well, to that point, like someone in the back end, of course, missed the assignment, but there was pursuit, and Montana stepped out of a tackle with 20 yards to go. So I mean, it was like a true 98-yard touchdown.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Good on Montana for finishing the play, because he's wide open. He has to make one guy miss to finish that play, and when those plays happen in games, and let's say he gets tackled on the 13-yard line, you think all right, that's fine. We'll go get it. But a lot of times you end up settling for 3 there, and it's man, if you could have just broken one tackle.
Yeah, it matters.
Yep.
It matters. And, you're exactly right. I won't mess up your beautifully said statement, trying to Neelyize it.
You wanted to say it again?
No, I just want to you say it again, I'm going to stare at you.
All right, so here's the thing.
First team defense got out there. Mr. Williams had a nice play on a second down, got a tackle in the hole, big stick. And then we kind of not much going on until the halftime. But Dylan Edwards, a lot of reps at punt and kick returner today.
I
mean, and he had a couple catches.
Yep.
Just get him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He'll make someone miss, and then they're in trouble.
Speed kills, man.
Yeah.
Speed it absolutely kills. And when you look at a Jimmy Horn not being out there today, who would have been working in that spot, to have that you got a Dylan that could do it, Travis can do it.
Yep.
We got options.
And you got the guy coming from Jackson State. Sorry, I'm blanking his name. Yeah, Willie Gaines.
Willie Gaines could do it.
And we've been talking a lot about size, adding size to the wide receiver room, and I think that's something that they still want to do. But Shedeur is so great at picking up on mismatches that you can spread them out, and you have Willie Gaines, Jimmy Horn. You could even line up, Dylan Edwards in the slot, and he's just going to look out there and say, okay, who's getting beat deep?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Don't get me wrong. A 6'2" guy coming off the line when he's getting jammed, give me that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if I'm open, it doesn't matter if I'm 5'10" or 6'3". I'm open.
Yep.
I've gotten past the defense, and the safety is not going to stop me one-on-one. Who cares about a guy's height then? Yeah, you want some height on these 50-50 balls, these jump balls, back pylon things. But a lot of these routes and the speed and tempo of this offense, don't worry about Jimmy Horn's height or Willie Gaines' height. They're going to eat it up.
Yep.
First team offense started off the second half. Anthony Hankerson had a big run of 14 yards. I mean, it was classic Anthony Hankerson, dragging guys for the last 5 yards of it.
That was your guy.
Yes, sir.
That was your guy.
And he's gotten bigger for sure since last season. I mean, he looks big.
Yeah.
Yep.
Coach Flea pregame really wanted to see some magic out of Hank for that reason, because he was a guy that was here.
Yep.
And really wanted him to get that opportunity to show what he can do in this new offense. And he did.
After that, Mata had his second kick blocked. Tavion Beasley nearly took it.
You're going to get off Mata, man.
I'm just reading play-by-play, bro.
You can skip it. You don't have to do every play.
All right, we'll skip right over that then. Marvin Ham, the second, had a great read and play to get into the backfield for a nice TFL. A guy that's earned his number who made a play on defense.
Yeah, that was a big-time play. Read the hole, popped in there, and got a stick.
After that, second team scored. Staub to Michael Harrison from 30 yards out. And then Staub hit Shernay Estes for the 2-point conversion, too. Staub was dealing, man.
He was. He knows the offense.
And, we got to see 2 practices and then now this. Every single time, Estes has been making plays.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Another guy.
So is that a correlation to your presence or his skill set?
You'd have to tell me, because you've been at more practice.
Like, hey, when we're here, he does this. So, like, you can't miss a game.
I'll start calling the end zone Estes Park.
I like that.
Jalen Sami then got some interior pressure. He got a knockdown on one of Shedeur's balls right at the line of scrimmage. And then Shedeur.
You say balls a lot.
Well, we're talking football, brother.
I mean, you can say he knocked down his pass. You just, I don't know, man. Just something that I've just picked up on it. They're alternative words, but you keep choosing balls. So
I'll find some alternative words for you.
The pigskin, you could go with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. You don't have to say balls every time. Is all I'm saying.
Well, then a beautiful thrown pass.
Nice.
By Shedeur Sanders to hit Montana Lemonius Craig over the middle, gain of 17. I don't know if it would have been maybe like a pressure situation in a real game because Shador's kind of flushed right, but he kind of reset his feet, looked over the middle, and threw a strike to Montana, who was coming back on a dig.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful play.
Oh, yeah. And, you don't want to take anything away from a successful play.
Right.
In that tempo offense. But we do have to acknowledge that there is a certain effort from the D-line, and when they break through that first layer, they're not going full speed. They're starting to pull up.
Yep.
Because the last thing you want to do is run into the quarterback on the scrimmage.
Yep.
So there were some sacks out there, that would have been sacks in the live game.
Well, and that's like the number one argument that happens in the locker room after a practice, right? Like, oh, I had you. No, you didn't. No, I think Shador even said, like, I've been pulling up my Jackson tape, showing them, like, look, I can scramble. I would have been out of there.
He can.
Well, shortly after that, he ran it in from 7 yards out and scored a touchdown.
Yep.
Lots of pulling back, though, when he turned that corner
they better.
and went up the sideline.
They better.
Lots of pulling back. Okay, so official attendance was 47-77. So still pretty damn good. Trevor Woods had a nice stick. He had a few nice sticks. I mean, that guy is just a walking hammer, man.
Yep, he is. He's dangerous.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's like a couple plays out there where I'm like, whoa, chill. But he only has one gear. Trevor Woods just hits people.
Yep. And then shout out to the D-line. Aaron Austin got a sack on Colton Allen. Was a pretty legit sack. I mean, couldn't really stop the play in time. The guy was in the backfield that quick.
Yep.
What else we got? Started the fourth quarter. Quarter after that, Jalen Sami broke up his second pass at the line of scrimmage. That was kind of it, though.
Yeah.
They kind of wound it down towards the end. So.
And you never said balls again after I called you on it.
That's elite, in-game adjustments right there.
I mean, he's right up there with Shador.
Comments are going crazy.
Of course they are.
Tripod involved.
Oh, God.
Player of the game.
Wait, before we get to play the game, did we not get any craziness on the urine chart that's in the restroom? Like that? That's
Wow.
science. See, people believe in the science.
They're just like happy that we're hydrated,
Yeah, I am definitely hydrated.
Player of the game. Who you guys got?
Hard for me to say. So I'm going to go with unit of the game because I'm still going to tip my hat to the defensive line.
Yeah.
I love what Caleb Mathis did. I love what the running backs did. Of course, I love what Craig did. At receiver. But those kind of things I think were expected from my perspective. I was expecting the defensive line to not have a good day, but they really dug in and said, I don't care if we're depleted. I don't care if it's just four of us. We're going to show what we can do in the scrimmage, and I think they did.
Yeah, and I would probably go with Shane Cokes if you were going to pick one guy out on the defensive line. I have to say I saw him when we were waiting for you to come grab us. I saw him walk out. You think for a guy who just played that many games, especially a bigger dude, you'd have like ice or he'd be limping or, he looked like he, just got out of the shower, started the day, like just walked out smiling, like no sweat.
Yeah.
I love seeing that. I think I have to go Montana Lamonius, Craig.
Yeah.
Especially because, it was an opportunity for guys like him who have been here before to go out and show the world like, hey, I know we went 1-11, but that doesn't mean we were all trash. And I love him going out there and kind of just putting a stamp on, mossing a dude, catching a long touchdown, making the play over the middle, and just saying like, "Hey, look, I'm here." Don't forget about me. Yeah. And I thought that was impressive from him.
No matter if RG3 can't say my name.
Yeah, exactly. He'll figure it out, right?
Really quickly.
We'll make him learn.
Yeah, that's my pick for player of the game too. I mean, would have been over 150 yards. He had one touchdown.
I don't know. Hold on. Would it have been over 150 yards? Like, if you think I'm right with math,
he had a 98-yard touchdown.
Okay, all right, cool, 150 yards. Right, got to double check that.
I thank you for checking my stats.
You're welcome.
Sometimes I actually bet you will get us a dumbed down version of the stats eventually. So we'll get to see exactly how many yards Montana had.
Yeah, but like what you said, man. I mean, just a player who has really stuck it out here at Colorado. Last year, he was kind of tabbed as like one of the breakout players. Of course, bad quarterback play. They all kind of had a tough time. He had his moments. He had his moments 2 years ago, too.
Yep.
But now he's showing you what he can do with an actual guy at quarterback now.
You wanted to say ball.
No,
wanted to say
I wasn't
no. It was right there.
You know what he can do? Some good balls coming.
Yeah, that's what he wanted to say.
I didn't say it.
I will say, Montana is a clutch player.
Yes.
Probably the two biggest plays he's made in his career at Colorado have both been in overtime.
Yep.
So,
Awesome.
yeah, I'm hyped for him. And, make people learn how to say your name.
For sure. Post game now?
Sure.
Let's do it.
I'm excited to hear because I was lugging, the equipment up here while you were talking to Coach Prime.
Well, I'd encourage you and everyone else to actually go back and listen to it. I only got some bits and pieces here. He opened his post-game presser, was just really amazed, very thankful, said it was phenomenal. I'm stoked about the attendance and all the electricity. I'm so thankful that God led me in this direction. I mean, the guy was just waxing poetically about how thankful he is to be here at CU, which we've heard since December.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved his post this morning. With the field covered in snow, he's just like, thank you, God. Like, I know you have a plan.
Yeah.
And I love just that type of perspective. Like, it's like I'm going to try to not sing this. It's like rain on your wedding day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, that sucks. But you can, cry about it or you can move on and make the best of it. And that's obviously what they did.
The chat's asking who won. Do we know who actually won the spring game?
The offense.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Do we know what team is it? So is that just
That
gold
is
team?
the white team.
White team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. He also talked about Peggy. Peggy was awesome, that whole thing to start the game. I mean, I know we didn't have Ralphie, but that was just about as good.
Yo, she crushed that ball.
She did.
He said that too.
I was like, all right, let's see what happens
It was
here.
high risk, man. Like, look, I'm sitting there watching, like, do we really want to do this?
She does her own stunts.
Yeah, because this is still a little icy out there. Like, could we just play like she kicked? But no, she kicked it.
And I don't know what I was expecting when she hit it. I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
She clipped that.
Yep, that's what he said. He said
I was expecting a game delay, honest, but she nailed it.
Jake was about to say that she should replace Mata.
I was not about to say that.
Listen, there's two things you're going to keep out of your mouth, and that's balls and motto, okay?
I'm being flamed. Coach Prime said her kickoff was phenomenal. She's God sent. She's undarn believable. And he was talking a lot about his visit with her and how she had caramel on some, I don't know, croissants or something to eat from her. He was going off about that.
Sounds fire.
Coach Prime overall on today, I was amazed. The energy just walking out the locker room with the team was a moment. It's one of those moments that you'll never forget. It was something to behold.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if this came out in the presser, but yesterday in the team meeting and then out there at the 50-yard line, the past couple of days he has really poured into these guys and expressed how thankful he is for the people who didn't quit.
Yep.
That for the people who know that, well, I don't know how much longer I have here, but I'm giving this last week all I got, and they stuck it out. And he's very appreciative that they came to play today and the energy they brought. And they didn't treat this like this is possibly my last game. They treated it like, I'm going to make the most of this if it is my last game instead of folding the 10 up.
And that is a real-life lesson right there. Like, if you walk out on your job and then you need a recommendation letter, you're probably not getting it.
Not a favorable one.
Yeah, exactly. If you put in your 2 weeks notice and you come to work every day for those last 2 weeks and, put it in, then when your next employer calls, because that's going to happen with these guys.
Absolutely.
Coach Prime knows everyone.
The word but erases everything that comes before it. So I can say, hard worker, gave it all he got, did this, team meetings, but he quit. Well, all you remember is he quit.
Yep.
And these coaches, when they get calls for recommendations to tell us about this guy, professional ethics and their code of conduct amongst coaches, they're going to tell the truth.
Yes.
They're going to attach that the end of it is, well, the last week he walked out on us, And so he's been very thankful of the guys who have been here and stayed and played this game.
And that will pay for them.
It will. It will.
You sure you guys run in the post-game presser? Because Coach Prime basically said all that.
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Just talking about
He's
the guys.
imparting his wisdom upon us.
Yeah, down right to the calling other coaches and stuff, talking about players that have left and everything.
Hey, I know my guy, man. Like he does the same thing even with scouts. When you reach that part of the season and scouts are coming and watching practice and thinking about who they're going to draft, he ain't going to lie for you. Right. Like he is not going to lie for you.
Because then they're not going to trust him the next time.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's those guys are going to get true recommendations. So the good things that they did while here, he's going to state those, but he's also going to let you know they walked out on us when we needed the most.
Coach Prime on the play today, it's kind of hard to measure. I was looking for some people to do some things, and those people did it very well. He did say, however, the kicking was hot garbage and uncalled for.
Wow.
But you left out a name, so you're good.
Hey, man.
His words.
Yeah. The overall kicking.
I have to say, like, it was a hard thing to judge, and it's just one of those things whenever you're watching a practice, right? You don't know, are you happy for one side or are you bummed at the other side? Like, they blow a coverage and Montana scores a 98-yard touchdown. Like, I'm happy for Montana, but I'm like, how do you –
Excellent point.
how do you blow that? So the one thing that was missing today was a true Folsom Field roar because we didn't get Ralphie. Obviously, everyone was hyped about Coach Prime coming out. I think someone – messed something up somewhere along the lines where the timing wasn't right. Obviously, it's preseason for everyone.
Yeah.
So that wasn't quite as
Right.
concentrated as it could have been. Yeah. And then with with those big plays, like everyone's excited, but there's also the other side of it. So again, a little appetizer. When Ralphie runs against Nebraska, you're going to hear a sound that has not been heard in there in a long time.
Yeah.
Just talking about the roster and moving forward and like his next plan, Coach Prime said, this is the genesis of the new era. You all know that we're going to move on from some kids on this team and reload.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think he said on the field with ESPN, I saw someone tweet out, like, we got some dogs coming.
Yep.
We do. And some of them are here now, and that kind of thing will be announced when things become official and public knowledge. But the players that you already know that are coming are not in this team. And he said this all week long in all practice, all spring ball long. This team that you saw today, the culmination of his first spring, is not the team that's going to travel to Texas to play TCU.
Yep.
It's going to be a totally different look. But you did get to see schematically some of the things that the coaches like to do. You got to learn like his expectations. So there was a lot of energy to this. But whether it was good, bad, or ugly, don't take that with you to TCU because this squad is going to be totally different.
Yep. Still on the roster, Coach Prime said, we got to make some decisions. Before talking about the guys that left, it was on them. He says, now it's on me. Anyone that quits just before the spring game, that should tell you a lot. We don't look behind us, man. We look ahead.
Nothing to add there.
Yep.
Unless you want to just throw in the word balls just for no reason because you typically throw it in for no reason.
I did ask Coach Prime about the quarterbacks, though.
And
did you ask him how their balls?
I did not ask him about the quarterback's balls. I asked his thoughts on how Shedeur and the rest of the quarterbacks played. He said he was happy with their productivity. We need to find some people that can step up and do the things that Shedeur can do well.
I agree. I think that what this locker room needs is an older quarterback, maybe a grad student, grad transfer.
Yep.
Somebody who understands and embraces the role of QB2 as that relates to the scout team and practicing and getting the defense ready, but also being ready to go, God forbid, if you ever need it. I think this roster is missing that. So for him to put that out there publicly, hey, if you're watching this show and you are a grad transfer, hey, come to Colorado. We'd love to talk to you.
We ain't hard to find.
No, we ain't hard to find. No, that is needed. That is needed because as good as Staub and the other guys are doing in the locker room, that's one of those positions that there is a true or significant drop-off. And it's not so much, again, for gameplay because no one is sitting there worried about or thinking or planning for a QB1 to go down in any situation, but you need it for practice and preparation.
Yeah.
You got to have – your defense is only as good as who they practice against.
And your quarterback kind of needs a caddy, right? Who's always by his side, who's in the film room with him, who understands these things. These young guys – I'm excited for them, but it's very different when you've been out there and you've seen Power 5 football.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't even have to be Power 5, but you've been playing Division I for multiple years and you've seen it all, that you can go out there and help him and just be his caddy.
Absolutely.
Coach Prime on having the alums back and having them come back for the regular season. He said, I would hope so. This was a welcoming and kind of like a recommitment to the program. How can you not embrace them and give them the love they deserve? He also said he's been with Cordell Stewart basically since Cordell's got here.
Oh, man. Look, Cordell got here, I think, on Monday, maybe Tuesday, and they have been lockstep meetings.
He said he's been picking him up from his house or whatever.
I mean, they have been together. I mean, other than the houndstooth yesterday, they've even dressing alike. And they have gleamed a lot from each other because, of course, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, he is who he is, but Cordell brings that unique perspective of having been the guy here and what happened during the drop-off and being an ambassador for the football alums and what they can mean in this program. I mean, they have been, just shoulder to shoulder the whole week.
There you go. Like that.
I was about to say cheek to cheek. I was like, and then he'll throw in balls and then we go down tripod path
once again. I did not say it.
I mean, I hope Cordell never leaves.
Yeah.
Like, cancel your flight.
Yeah.
Just stay here. He's an incredible ambassador for the program. And I just have to say this, before his time as a quarterback, because if Cordell Stewart was a prospect right now, he would be the number 1 overall pick.
He'd be a problem.
The NFL, all the current quarterbacks, say the past 10, 15 years, including the Eagles quarterback now, should all just pony up and give Cordell some money. Because, he missed that. Now, he did well in life, don't get me wrong, but he missed that era in his talents and what he brought to the table as far as, being able to take and propel a team, whether it's arms or legs, his mental capacity game. There's no doubt about he'd done well in this market.
Yep. Amen.
Coach Prime on his coaching staff, this coaching staff we have is really good. Really good. They've forgotten more football than some people in this room know.
Did he look at you?
No.
Good.
I know ball.
I agree.
Hey, you said it.
I said ball.
I'm going to trust you. If I ever need information on ball or balls, I will call you.
All right. Then Shador and Travis got on the podium. I couldn't get much from them. They were moving pretty quick. I'll need to go back and watch. But Travis, on waking up and seeing the snow, said, I woke up this morning and said, I don't know about this one. We have to play in the indoor.
We'll get 47,000 in the indoor some way, somehow.
I am not in a capacity to even attempt to speak for the University of Coach Prime. I'm just reading the room, the vibe. I can tell you, man, this morning it felt like this wasn't going to take place.
Wow.
And for it to take place and take place at the height that it did, is even more phenomenal because when you saw there was reaching this pitch of all right, we're either going to do this or we ain't because it takes time to get this off the field. And if we don't start now, we won't be ready to be out there to warm up. And you even saw they were still shoveling while the kickers were warming up.
Yep.
There was this window of time are we going to do this today or tomorrow?
I mean, huge shout out to the grounds crew, which has always been A+ here, because it would have been just so sad if they had to pull the plug on this.
Yeah.
And not just for us and being able to see the team, but the people that we met today. I mean, damn near everyone was coming from somewhere else.
Yeah.
We had people from Jackson, we had people from Texas, we had people from Arizona. I mean, all over what'd you say? Florida, yeah. I mean, all over the United States, people came for this, and it would have just been so sad if they had to pull the plug.
I've been totally blown away by the amount of Mississippians I bumped into.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, they have literally fought. And I'm not talking about the players' families.
Yeah.
I mean, just fans of HBCU football, fans of these individual athletes and coaches. I saw people from Valley where Vincent Dancy was the head coach. Unbelievable amount of people who traveled from the Deep South to come see this team that Prime has put together.
And please keep coming back. You guys are all welcome here. There's a guy I was talking to who, he was talking about the bandwagon Buffs.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't even have to say that. You're all Buffs to me. If you support this program, you're a Buff. You don't have to put the bandwagon tag on there.
Well said, man.
We need everyone.
And this is coming from the guy who started off with a shot don't come when it's warm if you don't come when it's cold. And then you went kumbaya and
put the olive branch out there. Everyone showed up. So everyone earned their stripes.
Shador said he spoke about just the receivers and the chemistry today. He said Montana really stepped up. He singled him out.
Yeah, he did.
He also I didn't get a good angle from the press box. Maybe you guys saw it, but when Shador scored the touchdown, apparently He was like leading the
Oh
band.
yeah, that was
yeah,
classic.
He was,
Yeah. He said he was surprised, first off, that they actually started playing when he started doing the thing.
He's like, oh wow, I have that power.
This worked.
It's like Spider-Man the first time he shot out a web. Like, oh,
First, he said he didn't know what he was going to do. He said he got in the end zone. He thought about throwing the ball as far up into the stands as he could, but then he's like, nah. And then he just said it came to him naturally. And then he said, him and Travis have something coming soon for touchdown celebrations. So,
oh,
yeah.
Can't
We're
wait to
working on
see
something.
it because they are going to score.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
They're going to score.
Shador and Caleb Mathis's performance today. He said, I told Caleb before the game, hey, bro, it's me and you today, me and you. And came through, man.
Yeah, they've been playing ball together, since Little League. Coach Mathis is Caleb's dad, coaches secondary.
Yep.
And Caleb has been in that Trinity program, Coach Prime's, program in Texas. So Shador and Caleb have a relationship, known each other, since they were knee high.
Yep.
And so so to have like a Jimmy down and times when Travis wasn't out there, I mean, to like, oh, there's Caleb. Because he's another guy, don't let size fool you. He can run routes and he's got hands.
And he's fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm throwing to the open guy.
I was really impressed by Caleb, and a similar thing to being so happy for Montana. Caleb, comes in here. He's a walk-on, and there's people out there saying, "Oh yeah, he's one of the he's one of Coach Prime's guys' sons. Of course he's going to be on the team." And like he went out there and balled and showed like, no, this isn't a fluke. I can play.
And internally, his dad had no knowledge or impact on him being a guy that got a number. His position coach, was like, no, this guy is on the third unit, and he's working harder than guys on the first unit. Early for meetings, taking notes, perfecting his craft and routes. He's getting a number.
Well, and he's been around Coach Prime, and he's been around Shador, and he's been around his dad. Like those guys understand the standard.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't surprise me at all that he goes out there and meets the standard every day.
I want to add a word to that: the non-negotiable standard.
Yep.
Yeah, it ain't no, hey, we'll do it this way today. Nope. It's this way every time.
Yep. And I'm sure that's how it's been his whole life in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was fantastic today. We did get a commitment today. Mr. Vito Tisdale from Kentucky will be joining the Buffs. Another safety. He was a 2020 recruit, a high 3-star. Didn't play last year at Kentucky with a torn ACL. But he's coming in 6'1", 176, incoming senior. So at least 1 year of eligibility, maybe 2, maybe 3. Who knows?
They are stacking up that safety room.
Yep.
You talked about it. You talked about the big plays on offense and how you were cheering, but that's also happening against our defense. Mm-hmm. We got work to do on defense, man. Whether it's the defensive line or I think if there's any group in our defense that's okay as far as personnel, it's probably the linebackers, Coach Hart's room. But corners, safety, D-line, I mean, we got to go shopping.
But you've got Shiloh coming in.
Yeah.
You've got,
he was here today.
Yep. Saw him down there. Saw him talking to you. You have Cam, who's a dog. You got Slush. There's a lot of – you've got Trevor Woods. So there's names in that room, and they keep adding. So it's going to be a hell of a competition.
Those good guys better
Competition.
is bringing in good guys to make them better and compete.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yep, every time. But people are afraid of sparks.
Sometimes it's got a spark.
It's got a spark. Iron sharp. The sparks are going to fly.
Yep.
And so they're going to compete this summer, and they're going to as we go into that fall camp. And but it's one of those things where the defense needs some additions via addition. Yep. We've had addition via subtraction. The guys that left, and they weren't in a position to necessarily help us anyway. So okay, fine. Now we got to plug these holes up and plug these up with these guys that not only bring something to the table, but they're either better than the guys we have or can help make the guys better that are here.
In a normal year, the spring game marks the end of something.
Yeah.
It does not feel like to me like we're about to hit some sort of lull. It's about to turn up.
Coach Prime has said all week long, this is our genesis.
Yep.
Like this week, this Saturday is the genesis. This is where this program is going to start.
Right.
And this day will be the start of it, and that's what happened.
And it's already starting. I mean, we heard yesterday that commitments are already starting to come in, some pretty interesting ones, and obviously today with the Kentucky guy coming in, I mean, they're coming, man.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a set of Louis luggage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, because I saw in your mentions, people are like, spill the tea, spill the tea, spill the tea. We're just always going to let those kids get their shine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This ain't no like clickbait or something. You know, this is all about the student athletes and promoting them.
Yep.
These families and this university will decide when those things are announced. But
Absolutely.
trust us. We coming.
Yes, sir.
We coming. Guys, get your questions in now. We will answer them very shortly. Also, hit that thumbs up button if you're enjoying the show right now. We are at 226. Let's try and get that to 300 before today's show ends.
We got 577 watching, so
Let's go.
And mine says
Crank it up.
561, so I don't know.
all right. What'd you say?
831 on the.
Oh, damn.
Oh, wow.
That's what happens when you mention balls.
And tripods.
Yeah, just keep going up.
Shout out to the American Raptors at Infinity Park. The American Raptors have athletes from all over the sports scene, football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, soccer, playing rugby for them at Infinity Park. You can check out our weekly DNVR Rugby podcast with Colton Strickler. Best part about American Raptors games, they're actually not free. They're free to stream, but they are just $10, and children 12 and under are free. And if you can't make it, you can watch all of the American Raptors matches live on ESPN+. If you didn't get the ticket you wanted as an elite athlete, check out the opportunities at Infinity Park. Rugby just may be your next ride. And then shout out to Game Time. CU Buffs fans got to wait a while to use Game Time, but we got Avs, Nuggets gearing up for a playoff run. Hit up Game Time. It's the place for last-minute ticket deals. You can snag your tickets there without all the stress. Download the Game Time app now. Create an account and use code DNVR for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DNVR for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed.
You just pointed out my least favorite part of the spring game. As I was walking up the stairs to leave the stadium, I was counting. I went May, June, July, August, September. 5. We have to wait 5 months to see them play again.
We do. However, August is going to be exciting.
Oh, yes.
Last week of July and the entire month of August, the band is going to be back together a lot. Like, there are going to be open practices. There are going to be scrimmages. This is going to be an August like you've never experienced in Boulder, Colorado, including celebrity, not only entertainers coming, but celebrity coaches as well. And yeah, like, I cannot wait for you guys to see and hear Charles Haley talk to the team.
Damn.
Just keep your finger on the beep. Like, it is. He is scary, man.
We don't have to do that here. We don't.
Great.
Yeah. We're pro balls, tripods, and curse words.
Yeah, it's going to be a great summer. You know, all the guys I've talked to today and wishing them well and making sure, like, you know, it ain't over for you. Like, talked to Cameron Silman Craig, and he's like, oh, no, I'm working out tomorrow. Like, you know, I got to stay in shape and get in better shape. Like, this is not the end. This is the beginning of this.
Yep.
Okay.
5 months and counting.
I'm just going to throw this out as the first question because
It's
a lot
not
of people
balls,
are
is it?
asking. It's not balls. Okay. A lot of people are asking about Zico. Where Zico is, what's going on with Zico. Neely?
I'll lean on the experts. I didn't see him play today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Neither do I.
But everyone, you know, something's going on.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, you know, the one thing I'll point to is when we talked to Coach Brew, and he was very hard and direct on Zico. So, you know, I'm really confident in his ability. And I think that, you know, when we come back in the fall, I wouldn't be surprised to see him be a guy who makes an impact. But there's clearly something going on right now.
Tight end's a hard position, man. I mean, these
It
rookies
is.
that come into the NFL, they always take a while to kind of adjust to that different speed of the game then.
Yeah.
We experienced it in Denver with Noah Fant. I mean, a bunch of people had expectations for him, and it's just hard to meet those expectations as a young player.
I will tell you this. Current tight ends, ones that will come in, to have Coach Brew, Tim Brewster as your coach. I mean, this guy has put tight ends in the NFL.
Yep.
And he's going to be the special guest of a tight end that's going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
This guy knows how to get the most out of tight ends and propel them to get paid on Sundays. So I'm excited about him getting his hands around that room and really having this summertime, you know, when they're working on their own and they get back here, to really show you how impactful the tight ends are going to be to this high tempo offense.
In the chat there, some people are saying it looked like he got rolled up on early in the practice. That would actually make the most sense to me because I didn't see him.
Right.
And other people said they saw him. So it would make sense if he was out there for a minute.
Sure.
And then, obviously they're going to use the utmost caution on a day like today.
Absolutely.
And so,
Absolutely.
But also shout out to Louis Passarello, man. I mean, he earned his number. He was out there working with the first team.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was doing some stuff. I mean, this is a guy who really
and
didn't.
Coach
do
Brew was
anything
big
last
on
year.
him. Coach,
Yeah.
I talked to Brew pregame. He said, "Look, that's who I'm looking for. I'm looking for Louis to show me something today because I believe in him, and I think he can help this team, this fall. So eyes were going to be on him regardless today."
Let's go. Huge endorsement of him.
Yep.
Also in the chat, Neely, they wanted to know what are your plans for break? You working or twerking?
There's going to be a fine balance.
Yeah.
All right. There's going to be about no, I'm lying. There's going to be 60% twerk, 40% work.
All work and no twerk,
Balls to the wall. All right,
Again, you said it, man.
you say it best though, because I think you mean it. It's heartfelt for you. I just say balls. You like balls. You got a certain inflection.
Professional
with it.
speaker, man. What can I say?
Are you going to be around? What's the
Yeah. My schedule here for this quote unquote break is I'm still doing work with Coach Prime, so he's going to be here often, so I'll still be here often. Whether players are here doing the injury thing, I think May is going to be a lull for everybody.
Yeah.
Folks will get out on the road and that kind of thing, and then school rolls back in June, and guys are doing their own workouts, player-led practices. As best we can, we'll be bringing you guys that kind of information. But man, it'll be the middle of July, end of July, before you know it, and we're here. It's ball time then.
Yep.
See how I said ball
You
time?
said it again.
Yeah.
I think you like balls maybe a little bit.
Oh,
more than I
here
do.
it is.
Let's agree to agree. I'll admit I like the usage of the word balls more than you if you own tripods.
I'll own tripods, though.
So you own it?
I'm not going to answer that. I'm not answering that.
Own it, Jake. Own it.
It's right there for you, man. Take the tripod in your hands like you could do it.
I can't.
No,
Please stop.
no, just grab it.
Nicholas is asking, how many transfers do you guys think CU gets next week? I'm assuming.
Interesting question. I don't want to put a number on it, man, because I think today increased it. Mm-hmm. I think today increased it. From a marketing standpoint, I was concerned about the weather and the look. Because here it is, spring game, late April, snow on the ground. But the way that all came together, I think the needle moved up as far as people wanting to play here. Mm-hmm. Because if it snows in spring and you got that kind of energy in that crowd, what's September going to be like? I think we showed the world this is a place you want to be. Mm-hmm. So whatever number we were 5 hours ago, I think it's gone up and it's going to keep going up. Mm-hmm. People are going to want to play here.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. And we showed today, in Vic Lombardi, who's a great local broadcaster here in town, put out a tweet basically saying, I think the hiring of Coach Prime was the single greatest business investment the University of Colorado has ever made. And one of the points he made in there was the university finally decided they're going to invest in football. Mm-hmm. And what they got in return was the fans saying, we're going to invest in football too.
You saw that today.
And this fan base has been through a lot, and I commend this fan base for the way they've showed up even when things were bad. But not for the spring game, I'll tell you that. And so today, what we saw was Colorado and its fan base takes football seriously. And that has to matter to those guys.
I asked him at halftime about that. We do a little segment for the pregame show at half. And, I'm giving him the credit for this crowd. And he's like, no, it's not me. It's us. It's this team. It's everybody who has believed and come to join me here and help this work. All of us, including the fans in the stands, including people who do shows like this, are the reason there's 47,000 people here. That he knows it's not just him that's doing this. It's a total team effort.
Love that.
Yeah. Especially to the grounds crew. They did the damn thing, man.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Needed them. Also, I had a grounds crew moment on myself today, clearing off the grass for the tailgate.
Well done, Ryan.
Yeah, I used a window scraper to clear some space. I didn't want everyone to have to stand in the snow at the tailgate.
And then no one stood
And
in
then
the
no one
space.
stood in my green grass.
Because it was a place of honor, you know.
That's true. It was like, I like
let's
that.
stand
It's a
there and
shrine.
marvel at it. Exactly. Take your shoes off. You know, it's hallowed ground. You don't want to. That's where we finally have evidence that Ryan worked. Like, you don't
I
see
wasn't
that a lot.
twerking, that's for sure.
Listen, do we have any questions?
Yeah, so we have a super chat
Okay.
from MJA, Travis Hunter, and Shedeur Sanders, future Heisman.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Co-Heisman.
Yeah.
There was something on the broadcast, a conversation, and I'm going to mess it up because I didn't get to hear it all, between Coach Prime and RG3 about the common ground of RG3's Heisman run and what's taking place at Colorado. It's like a certain coach was here, certain this, certain that, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
And so Prime was like, so you mean like it can happen here? He's like, oh, yeah. And I think that before this thing is said and done, when they invite those 4 or 5 guys to New York, like we could have Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders sitting there.
Possible.
Yeah,
That would be a dream.
it can happen.
And I will say this, I've talked about this on the show before, but RG3 came into Boulder with that offense during that Heisman season and ran it a very similar offense to what Coach Lewis does to perfection. And I've told this story on the show before, but like they ran that little triple option, the new age triple option, which is inside handoff, quarterback keeper, or run or throw it to the wide receiver.
And that's the exact conversation RG3 was having. He's like, I know this tempo offense. I ran it.
It was unstoppable.
Yeah.
It was unstoppable. So
Yeah, if you are in shape and condition, particularly at the O-line, and you got some depth there, and you have the sustained drive, you wear the defense out, man. Like, there's too many offensive plays for the defense to keep up.
and at altitude.
Yeah, talk about home field advantage.
Yep.
What else we got, Alyssa?
A couple more. Another super chat from Lawrence. He said, did Shedeur exceed your expectations? Your thoughts on the O-line? How scary can the D-line get once players come in? Any sense of an overall style of defense?
There's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
The defense style is going to match Charles Kelly's personality. It's going to be intense, and it's going to get to the ball.
Yep.
It's not going to assume that because the play went that way, there's no need for me to pursue. You're going to continue to get to the ball because you don't know if that's going to be stripped. You don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
So you're going to get to the ball. That D-line is going to be predicated on stopping the run first, disrupting the quarterback second. Shedeur, as far as my eyes, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I know the guys, here's that word, ball accuracy is phenomenal. He puts it right where the receivers, can get it. So, again, it doesn't matter. I know that receiver. Okay, I know Caleb is shorter than Travis, so I know I'm throwing to Mathis or throwing to Hunter. And the guy's command of the offense is off the charts, and you just saw a glimpse of it today. I think the O-line, Coach OB is going to continue to make them rise to the occasion. And the biggest part of that is conditioning, because this tempo is going to move down the field.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to get set and get ready for the next play. So the O-lines being in shape when they get back here in August, whether it's guys that are here or new guys coming in, is going to be a major part of the success here.
Yeah. I'm used to being able to look at my phone between plays.
No,
Today,
you won't be able to do that.
It's not
No.
even.
absolutely
You
not
will
an
not be
option.
able to do that.
Yeah.
They are moving, man. They are moving. It's tempo.
I thought Shedeur played pretty well. He had some really nice passes. Nothing like too crazy that we saw at JSU in terms of like tight window throws.
Yeah.
Like he kind of saved a little bit of that. I think.
Sure.
The
But,
touchdown to Travis, though, was like a perfect
Yeah.
feather it over the defender. You got to see him uncork one to Montana.
Yep.
And I thought the overall accuracy was 10 out of 10.
No interceptions today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not even like a close call.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm, when I defend Mata, it's a little tongue in cheek there, but a lot of times when it's blocked, it's really not on the kicker.
No.
And a lot of times when balls are batted down, it's not on the quarterback.
Yep.
Because these linemen, they know the routes as well, and they know the blocking style for where the player is going
Right.
to go.
Yeah.
And if they do their job, you don't get a ball batted down. It's not like Shedeur is 5'6" or something.
Right.
He's a tall kid. So even when you saw things like that happen, you kind of know what your football eye. Well, that one really wasn't on him. And in
Yeah.
fact, if you go back and look at the film, where he was throwing to, the guy was damn open.
Right. Right.
That was going to be a major play if not for the ball getting batted down. So I'm sure in the offensive line room they're discussing that.
Yep.
Like, you got to block the guy and keep him from getting his arms up.
Yeah. Offensive line I thought was okay.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't I wouldn't say they were bad for sure.
No, but it's one of those things. For me, it's hard to rate.
Yep.
You know,
It
because
is.
the quarterback is not going to be hit.
Yeah.
So you can't judge me on pass protection. And then because the defensive line was depleted, you know, some of these runs are going to happen eventually anyway because they're getting fatigued. So, you know, I C plus because it is what it is kind of thing.
Yep.
But again, hats off to the D line. You know, to be out there short stacked and still be able to get hands up and knock balls down. There's that word. You know, Coach was doing it, man. Like, you know, hats off to him.
Saw me too.
You know, balls is such a normal word to say when talking about football. And now I'm going to have to think about it every single time.
But I don't think it's the word. I think it's just inflection. You know, like there's an enjoyment when he says it.
Yeah.
It's like me when I say pizza. Like we don't say pizza. Like I love pizza.
Yeah.
I say it with a happiness.
Damn, I'm hungry.
Me too.
Same. What else do we got?
We have
Alyssa?
one last super chat from Coach G. Graham. Unbelievable. Congratulations on a great spring game. I really felt it was a live game. Oh, my God. Shout out to CU fans. Peggy MVP.
Peggy MVP.
Hey man, nothing to add to that. Peggy
Yes.
MVP. She kicked better than Mata today.
Oh, there it is.
I'm under fire. You're the one saying
would
all
say it
this.
to his
I
face.
can throw a jab, man.
He would
Mata's
say
my
it to his
guy.
face.
All right, guys. Anything else? It was an awesome 2 days of podcasting with y'all.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone who came out today. That was like really, really special. And not just everyone who was at the tailgate, which was so cool, but everyone who, you know, just said something when we were walking through the stadium, and just everyone who came out and you know, braved the cold to support this program. Like, it would have been easy to wake up this morning and say, you know what, I'm going to watch. It's on ESPN. I can watch from home. But very, very few, if any, people did that. So very proud of the fan base. So incredible to meet so many of you. Can't wait to keep doing it once the fall comes around.
I concur, man. Shout out to the fans out there. You know, I had to keep my head on a swivel because I was hearing Uncle Neely in every direction. So I appreciate the love that you guys have given the pregame show and welcomed me into Boulder and with open arms and looking forward to this continued shared content and broadcasting together because I think we bring some unique perspectives that we can, you know, give these fans some different looks into what's happening under Coach Prime. But, man, much love to the CU fans who have just embraced the pregame show and shown good old Uncle Neely some love, man. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
Yep, same thing, man. Can't say enough about the fans, just meeting all these people coming in. It's been really cool. Honestly, since August, since starting this. Like, the reception I've gotten has been amazing. So thank
It's
you
like
guys.
you knew Deion Sanders was coming.
Maybe.
Yeah. Lightning in a bottle, man. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it a little bit, but doing these shows with you guys has been awesome.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to keep that going during the season.
They have no idea how often they're going to have tripods, balls, and they're going to be new things. It's
Just
not
keep
stopping
writing them
there.
down.
No,
Off-season, Thee Pregame Show, XDNVR Buffs.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Can't
of
wait,
course.
man. Shout out to you guys in the chat. Subscribe to the pod. Hit that thumbs up on the way out. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
Go Buffs.
Go Bucks.